Hi, I'm Exorcist and welcome back to Hearts of Pine 4, Laris is Not, where we're playing as Historic England this time. So in this episode we're gonna press play in just a little bit. I thought I'm gonna do a quick recap for anyone who didn't want to watch the entire 1 hour and 20 minutes of the last episode. So we're gonna go down the historic route, and we're starting with Steady As She Goes, which is the path here, opposite to the changing course. And then we'll probably start going down Infantry Armor after that. We have set our territory management to local autonomy. We have started the construction of an agency. We have selected 4 researches. We went with the military police on the last slot. The other ones are really no-brainers. We are building some infrastructure, and we'll be building some factories and putting up the fort here in Liverpool. With up to level 10 once we get there. We've also set some divisions to deployment. We've got some colonial garrisons, our ordinary 6th Infantry Battalion template. We've also got some Indian and Malay divisions here. The Indian divisions are a full size, and the Malay ones are just 1 regiment. So we have those going for us. We have also sorted in our armies, and they're all under commanders, and they are pretty much the historical commanders, or at least historically plausible commanders for everyone. We got one up here that's going to be reassigned, and that's going to be with Archibald Wavo, as soon as we get the political power to promote him, or command power. It used to be political power. And what more do we have? Yeah, we've got the Navy, which has been reorganized, so all the ships need to move around, and then we've got to clean up a little bit more here, so we can save that for later. It's nothing major. It took a long time to sort this through, and I doubt anyone got through all of it. We've also got the Air Force set up. They're just going to be set here. They're set to training, most of them. And we put and they're all set to train until they reach their train level. And these we're gonna start off later, of course. So, do we have anything else we need to check out in the beginning? We'll start with 3 radar stations here. This is pretty neat. Only country in the game that starts with radar. Alright, everyone ready? So let's up the speed a bit and press play. We can watch our navy go about here, meanwhile. So we did put some fleets to training here because we want some naval experience to start kicking in. Because sometime in June we wanted to start designing our first destroyer. And queue up a bunch of them. We are going to run out of fuel here, and I don't really think that's an issue. We should just train a little bit less. We'll train with what fuel the different branches get. When they don't get full fuel, they don't train fully. But sooner or later they will start training. And we've got all the ships here. I think I set the subs to continuously train, and these ones, it looks like we set the convoy task forces to continuously train as well. So these are going to be sorted out and assigned the commander to. Alright, so William Slim Falls Hill doesn't really matter once in peace, but that's a shame. He's sick for 30 days. I'll have to do something with these horrible tank templates thing starts with. Alright, so we've got our first event here, and I'm thinking I'm gonna read all these events out in this playthrough, because I think it adds a little bit. There will be timestamps both before and afterwards if you don't want to watch them, so in the video description then, of course. His Majesty George V, King of the United Kingdom and the British Dominions, and Emperor of India, has passed away. His quiet calm and devotion to his subjects saw the Empire through both the Great War and the Great Depression. His son will assume the mantle as King Edward VIII, but there are already concerns that he will be too independent of God. Stanley Baldwin and Neville Chamberlain, preparing to ensure that he will accept direction of the Prime Minister Cabinet. May he rest in peace. This removes our national spirit, King George V, and replaces him with Edward VIII, who gives weakly stability minus 0.1. Not very good. Right, so we're just waiting for this to finish up here now. And we can't have this if it would be used to have chaos, so. But we're taking this before that event, and this kind of limits our choices in that event, which we'll see when we get there. Alright, so we got our agency created, and obviously we want to start directly with upgrading it, and we're going to go for all 4 departments here, and then we're going to for department. Doesn't really matter which one we do, but that's the way we're going to do it. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, we can probably work here because this is a pretty quick one. I thought so anyway. Here we go. So we completed Steady as She Goes. The mounting crisis is precisely why we must remain true to our roots. We will continue the course that we have sailed in recent years, rather than make any drastic political changes that may cause internal instability when we can least afford it. This grants us plus 20 weakness stability or plus 0.2. It also grants us some democracy support, and it does this for an entire year. That's pretty good. That means even with King George VIII or Edward VIII, we've got a positive weekly change. We're going to continue to increase the stability instead of decrease it. This opens up the 2 branches for politics, and we're probably going to go down this one, as I said in the last episode. We could go down reinforce the empire. This would bring us to encourage colonial elite a lot faster, which is a very, very, very good focus, plus 8% research speed. However, I think we're going to go down limited rearmament first. 4 civilian factories is just too good for us up. And we get them in Northern Ireland and Aberdeenshire. I think Aberdeenshire is up here, so that's a perfect slot for it. In Northern Ireland, the best thing you can get is if you get 2 of them up here in Scotland. But Northern Ireland is fair enough too. I think that's even a separate air zone. Yeah, so that's maybe even better. We've got extra civilian factories in other air zones, so they're a little bit safer than if they end up here in southern England, which is always a good thing. Now, I don't think the Axis will mount much of a bombing campaign to us, but you never know. Alright, so we're kind of waiting for a new operative now. The cat becomes spymaster. I think we have to wait until France joins us for us to do that. So these will probably start filling up with guns in our divisions first before they spill over into the foreign divisions. And we're still using quite a lot of it for reinforcements. Okay, Neil Ritchie also falls ill. They must have had a bad staff or something like that. So we've got a few decisions here we can take, but the first thing we're going to do is add a political advisor. As we've got Stanley Baldwin here, and we want to get that out of the way before he resigns. We want to have our 3 political advisors set. And we've got 2 decisions here we really want to take early as well, to maximize the gains from them. Right, so they're coming along nicely. They'll soon be finished. That'll leave fuel for the Navy. And we're training a lot of troops too, of course, to get the army experience. Alright, so we upgraded our agency here. And we'll continue on to the next department. We can select our first operative. And we'll have to see who do we want here. Yeah, so Percy Haig would be a very good choice. I like the seducer trait. Makes infiltration a lot better. And down here we've got 2 double agents. and they're both double agents with Germany. And so yeah, we're gonna start with the double agents here, I think. So Juan George, welcome aboard. We're gonna start you off here in Berlin as soon as possible, and we can let that go. Yes, we want to try to build up an internet in all three Axis nations, both Germany, Italy, and on the other side of the world, Japan. We want to know what they're up to. We don't know very much about them. We know that they are doing Rhineland, which should finish here in a few days. We don't know that much more about Germany as it is now. There we go. Remilitarization of the Rhineland. Several German divisions recently passed into the Rhineland, marking the first time since the end of the Great War Germany has forces positioned west of the Rhine. This is in clear violation of the Versailles Treaty, under which Germany is forbidden from militarizing the region. It's here. And actually it's down here too. The French seem content to limit the response to this breach to diplomatic objections, and public opinion in Britain is firmly against war. We will issue an objection as well. So the German Reich likes us a little bit less, and they gain base war support plus 10%. And this is the same thing, basically. Nothing to get worked up about, surely. It's no more than the Germans walking into their own backyards and could observe. Alright, so what we could do now, we have war support 16, and we could actually swap up some early mobilization. But in doing so, we will, once Stanley Baldwin resigns, be in a bit of a pickle. So I'm not going to do that. We don't really have the political power for it either. We want to spend that. That's right. Okay, so what do we want to do now? We just wait. I think we're waiting for this to tick in now. And we're waiting for the political power and command power to tick in. What do we need? 25, I think, to promote Archibald. 7 more. Okay, that's going to take a month and a half more. 30 days or something. Oh, let's see. Yeah, could set up some of these. We'll just make the carriers 50-50 now. Hermes, no, 8-12 is okay. And what do we have down here? No, that's our naval bombers. We should have some carriers down here in Alexandria. We can fix them up on Furious. Board some more planes. We don't actually have the planes produced, so we have 20, I think, on Eagle as well. Alright, so we got the army department fixed there. Let's just fix up the Glorious here first. Glorious can board 60 aircraft, so let's make it 30-30. I have to take some naval bombers off her. And let's see, we've got... yeah, that's all 5 carriers we start. So we obviously want to have the naval department going here now. And we can let it run again. There we go, some unassigned divisions. Okay, so our colonial troops are actually starting to come out here now. That's fine, we want to sort them into... oh, not there. We can put them... Royal Marines Expeditionary... yeah, we can put them into the Expeditionary Force, Brigade, into the Armored Brigade. That's fine. And I think the armored one here should probably just be shifted to be trained, so that they don't train too much. There's no point for that. Alright, so we finished limited rearmament. Let's see where we want to go to now. So the only thing we've got unlocked here is a motorized army. We would like to go down general rearmament, for the consumer goods factor is -5%. or down Shadow Sheen, but both of these require world tension 5 and 10%. Air defense also requires 10% or 5%. And we don't need that research boost. That's a pretty lousy research boost for 70 days of early focus free. We're gonna work our way down to Colonial Elite. Reinforce the Empire, it is. Our Empire is vast, and despite our power, weakly defended. To combat this, we need to encourage Imperial patriotism throughout the realm. Alright, let's get it back moving. So, this is something else we have. We've got the London Naval Treaties, which expires in 14 days. We don't have the political power to back out of it. So we're stuck with sticking to it. So that'll be fine. We can click out that notification because, yeah, why not? We're not going to be doing any war propaganda or doing this focus with the Dutch. It's just a waste of political power, I think. And the Burma Road, we're probably not going to get that focus. Here we've got our political advisor. So let's quickly pop over here. And we want to have Philip Kerr in silent workhorse. Yes, thank you. Always a good choice. So back to the decisions. We can look at these before. Improved work conditions and promises of peace. Highlight those. We might do them later if our stability drops too much from convoy raiding or something. These two are really, really, really good. We're going to be doing both of those. We can click these out. We don't need to bother with those. We can pick this one off too. That's for London. These are probably pretty decent, but let's click them out for now, and same thing with these. Alright, so we got our basic machine tools, and obviously there's only one way to go after you got your basic machine tools. You go for industry, and I think both of these are valid. I like dispersed industry a lot more than concentrated, but going as England, we need all the output we can get because we have so few factories in the beginning of the game. So we're going concentrated industry. And there's a few other countries I think concentrated industry makes just that much more sense for. We've also got the Commonwealth research going here, which is pretty nice. Doesn't help us very much, but it helps our allies quite a lot. So the second London Naval Treaty is signed. Delegations from Britain, France, Italy, Japan, and the US met in December 1935 to discuss renewal of the first London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and size of cruisers and submarines. Negotiations turned quite heated over Italy's war in Ethiopia and Japan's desire to be seen as equal to Britain and the US. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on limits to the size of battleships and aircraft carriers, in hopes of preventing another ruinous arms race. This will safeguard peace better than any super battleship. And we finished the naval department as well. And we're just going to continue on the Air Force department. We still don't have any more operatives, but when we get that once we've got the equipment department. And this does slow down our increase, of course, in factories, but now we've got one line building pure factories, and we're starting to build up the infrastructure in the East Midlands as well. So let's unpause there again. Now I soon have some more technology, then we're probably gonna get some more troops. No, quite some way away. And our equipment is filling in here again. We could of course bump these up to high priority. We do want to get some equipment out to our men in the field as well. We've got these aren't training anymore. Alright, so here we go with Italy and Ethiopia. Ethiopia has capitulated. The Ethiopian government has gone into exile, and the main forces have capitulated to Italy, who is now in control of their home area. Although the struggles between Italy and Ethiopia are over, Italy is still at all-out war and fighting continues elsewhere. There is uncertain times. And Ethiopia has been annexed. A little bit of equipment has been seized. So we've got a bigger problem down here now. Thank you, Italy. And we've now got the command power to put Archibald Wavell in charge of his groups here. We're gonna have to go through them all and assign traits to them, but we need more power for that. So we're gonna wait for the command power to trickle in. Here we've got a free military factory, and ideally we like to put this into anti-tank, but we don't have anti-tank guns just yet. So we're gonna put this into probably into not into aircraft just yet. We'll put it into guns. We need more guns, and we can always drop them off once we get the anti-tank. So that's fine. We're losing quite a lot of equipment to attrition, I'm guessing. We should be able to see in here, right? Yeah, so we can check. Okay, so we got the Air Force Department. Let's just click into the Crypto Department. We got that going. I think it should be an OK or something there. We could actually become the Spy Master now too. We do want to use this power for something else at the moment though. We're gonna hang on to that a bit. If we pop onto the equipment tab to see how much we've lost to attrition the last 12 months, but the last 5 months. So obviously we lost a few tanks there, but we need to be on top of this. So we got a little bit lost here and a little bit lost here. Let's keep on going there. And before we get the before we go for the Spy Master 1, we want to, let's see if we can find our positions here. We want to go for these two. Just too good to pass up 10% research speed. Okay, so we finished the military police here. And as I talked about before, this is going to go to, okay, we got construction 1 as well. So I want to pop in here and click here on the first slot. We want to have, we want to go with in here, we want to select Sonar 2, because it's soon time to research those new, or assign those new destroyers. We also want to have, as I talked about, the anti-tank guns going. So we start stockpiling quite a few for the war. And then let's unpause there again. And we're just waiting for political power and command power to trickle in. And obviously the experience as well. So we got enough Navy experience to design a new destroyer, just waiting for the upgraded sonar. For some time, King Edward VIII has entertained hopes to marry the American Wallis Simpson. A constitutional crisis has now arisen, as Mrs. Simpson is not only divorced from her previous husband, but in point of fact still married to her current husband, presently pursuing a second divorce. The general outrage has ensued on the grounds of that, as king and being the head of the Church of England, Edward cannot marry a divorcee. The king, however, has made it abundantly clear that he is very much in love with Mrs. Simpson and intends to marry her regardless of the opinions of his government or his subjects. As such, only 3 options remain open to him. The British government and the government of the Dominions have already stated that any alternative to abdication would be unacceptable, and the repercussions of trying to force through a marriage, even an attempted compromise, would likely be dire, not only for Britain itself, but also for its ties to the Commonwealth. As the king's closest advisors continue their attempts to convince him, the public awaits with bated breath the resolution of this conflict between the king and his cabinet. If he will not change his mind, the king must abdicate. And if you haven't gone with the steady as you goes option here, you will have 2 more options here. But since we're going democratic, we have 1 option, and King Edward VIII has to abdicate to get some stability back. Thank you very much. So now we update here. Oh, we still got him here. Oh yeah, this is another event that actually needs to fire for him to resign. We've just stated our will as a government to not have him back. King Edward abdicates. The Prime Minister, Baldwin, has made it quite clear that the dignity of the King Emperor will be impinged if he were to marry not just a commoner, but also a divorcee. And if that was not bad enough, an American. After that much soul searching, His Majesty has chosen love over duty and has chosen to abdicate. His younger brother, Albert, will assume the mantle as King George VI. London's bookmakers are already taking odds on whether this shy man will make his own coronation. God save King George VI. So now we remove our national spirit and we gain another one. So we gain back our stability. Very nice indeed. And just in time to reinforce the empire as well. Alright, so we're just going to continue on down the path here. Service overseas gives us some nice experience. And unpause again. And what more do we have to look at meanwhile? How's it going for Yuan here? He's doing pretty nicely. And the crypto department should be finished very soon. Here we go. And this time we'll just press OK. And we're not going to do anything more with the upgrades for now. We need our civilian factories to build more civilian factories. But we do get our second operative, which is nice. And we can also start the decrypting. So we can, yeah, it doesn't really matter which ones we go first. So I'll pick them up all 3 here. We're gonna increase our crypto power, so we'll get them all done in time, I'm fairly sure. Or we could actually go in and pause 1 or 2 of them and get them done one at a time. We'll pause Japan and we'll pause it. So all progress goes to the German Reich now. I think that's fair. Alright, so we actually overshot this a little bit, which is my bad. We'll take care of the mechanical computer in a second. So what we want to do now is give refuge to the German scientists. And we'll go on to the mechanical computer here. And in this place we want to start getting our catapults upgraded. So some more naval techs, and we'll unpause again. And here we go, here's the Spanish Civil War. And world tension is going up. But let's see what happened down here. Starting to fight. Looks pretty even this time around again. I quite like the new mechanics they've got going down here. It makes it a lot more interesting. And there's a lot more regions down here too, which is very good. And that they split up the air zone is very, very nice. And I like the changes to the air zones here in France. And they made a big difference to how the game plays out. Alright, so we got another operative here. Alright, so Kathleen Roberts, he looks pretty nice actually. With the three different ones. I would like to get the Dusko, but we can get Dusko at a little bit later date. We'll pick up Kathleen here. And she can go can go down here to Frankfurt for now and help our friend Yuan out there. And we've got yet another military factory. We're getting them from our subjects, which is nice. I'll pop that one into infantry equipment for now too. We will reorganize them in a bit. And let's get this on play again. Yeah. Toda, yeah, we're producing Toda anti-air when we don't have them. So we could do our operation to infiltrate the civilian administration. And I do think this is a good idea to get it done. Commands when ready. Go. And we want to infiltrate the army, the navy, and the air force as well. We want to know what Germany is up to. They're doing the Göringwerk, so they're going down their construction tree here now. And they've obviously already done fine now. What happened here? Yeah, nothing happened when we clicked that one. So you can see they've got 13 dockyards, got 5 dockyards building capital ships, 5 building screen ships, and 3 building other ships. It's probably 1 building convoys and 2 building submarines. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany, attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world. The 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in the history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. The Games are concluded. So, they're producing quite a lot of aircraft. We've got 1 factory on airplanes, remember? And we don't have enough input to see what they're doing with their convoys or bombers. We can't really gather that much more. Total army strength, can't really see very much here. There's our sonar. And we can see, one thing we can see here is that they've got 3 Deutschland class ships, which means that they finished Admiral Graf's Bay, which is in their construction queue at the start of the game, which is nice because in vanilla they don't. And they're building some Type 2s and Type 9s here going on. They actually built 4 of those. I don't think they start with any Type 9. And can't see very much about their air force either. Alright, so let's fix up this sonar here. We're gonna pop over here into Air Force, and we're actually gonna research airplane. We're gonna go with carrier close air support, and historically Britain used mostly torpedo bombers, but I think it's a little bit of a nice change to go with the CAS. They're not quite as strong as these ones either. They're better for defensive purposes, but worse for offense. They're better aircraft, they're more survivable, so we don't need to use quite as lot of them. These are so slow that they get shot down by almost anything. These have a lot better speed. We're gonna go with the overhaul spray for our research slot here. Alright, and let's put that sonar to use as well. So in here, destroyers, we're gonna select the EFGH class. We're gonna upgrade the sonar. We're gonna remove this torpedo slot. We're gonna replace it with a second light battery. We're gonna upgrade the anti-air. We're actually gonna put the sonar there and remove it from there. It costs a little bit extra to do it this way, but we want to get rid of the fire control and free up the radar slot for future use. We don't have any new torpedo launchers, so we'll leave that as is. We don't either have any new depth charges. This is as good as it is. We get the new sonars onto a new hull. And we'll call this the tribal class. Could have gone with the I class or J class, or J class probably. But no, I think we'll go with tribal class. It's a little bit nicer of a name. We can probably call this the Bronze because we're gonna have more of these. And let's save this. This also means we can obsolete that one. This is only 20 more expensive despite having a better gun and better anti-aircraft batteries and the new sonar. So it's not that bad of an upgrade. We're gonna... No, we don't want to queue up 100 of them. I was thinking 8. And we still want to have a few of these building for the Anders. Let's put 5 dockyards on them. Come up above the Leanders and do it this way, I think. So we'll actually start getting these out. We'll put these to the British Theatre 1. We don't have a better name for it yet because the other one is kind of a temporary one. And while we're in here, we want to add our... No, we didn't have our anti-tank guns. So now we got... We still got a few more days for the anti-tank gun. So let's keep going. And let's get some colors up here instead. So what's Italy up to then? And have a quick look in here. They're still a true signatory of the London Naval Treaty, but if you look at their numbers there, you can see 5,700 on cruisers, 11,500 heavy ships. And if we compare this to ours, they've got higher. We'll get back to that in a second. We'll sort out the national focus here first. By rotating armed forces personnel to colonial stations and back home again, they can learn about the conditions on different fronts, gain experience and share it with their comrades back home. So, we're gonna go back down to Colonial League and a whopping 7% increase speed. Yes, please. And I see we've got political power, so let's give refuge to the Italian scientists. Yes, so as I was saying, they've cheated on the London Naval Treaty. They can build bigger ships than we can. And I don't think we can see what they're doing. We can see that they've got 2 dockyards, 2 capital ships. We can't even see how many dockyards they have. They've got most of them building screen ships. Which is, yeah, they've got a quite big navy. So somewhere between 100 and 200 ships. It was a bad estimate. I guess it wasn't very easy back in this time to know either. But I think regarding ships, they probably had a little bit more accurate count, especially of the bigger ships, battleships and carriers. I didn't get too surprised because you had people around that could see what was happening. So Japan here has quite a few dockyards and capital ships with your screens. I can't see very much more there. Alright, so we finished the airplane catapult. Okay, so let's get this sorted out. Got our improved airplane catapults. And I think we're gonna start off with some air dock. We're actually free to go down whichever path we want to, but we're gonna go down strategic destruction, which I think is the more historical path for Britain to take. Going down with home defense here for interception detection. Take the night bombing side. And we'll try to do some night bombing up here when the time comes. But let's get started with the air superiority here. 157 days. Normally in Manila you probably get a small research bonus from this or from the Commonwealth, but I've set priority so that they won't actually do that until they've got more than 100 fighters. I think it's quite stupid to do air docking when you got like 12 fighters or 30 fighters. Let's unpause again. And we're waiting for our anti-tank and concentrated industry now. We can probably start training up a little bit of our navies here. We've got quite a lot more destroyers and a few cruisers here too. And those 2 submarines we can split off. Let's send them down to the 3rd, why not? and these should be done very shortly. Alright, so we got yet another one. So we can send this one into the Royal Marines for now to start training. And we can send the cavalry into the Royal Tank Regiment. We got our mobile forces all collected up in one place. And let's see where we want to go to now. So we got our anti-tank, and let's see, we should have gotten the concentrated industry at the same time, did it? And this was fairly easy. We just continue on to endure artillery. Might as well get that out of the way. And before we forget, go into production and punch these in. Let's get rid of our ships so we can get it up a little bit easier. Be there down below the anti-air. We'll strip one factory from our guns. Okay, so let's just wait up for their concentrated industry. Very good. This is gonna go into Marines. Right, continue to build those. Concentrated industry doesn't really require any action from us. However, we can bump up the number of civilian factories being built in these states. We're soon done with our infrastructure in the East Midlands, which means we'll start building factories too. And speed all that up. And as soon as these get done, we'll start falling downwards. Okay, so now is probably a good time to go in and become spy master. We got the political power for it, and we want to have another operative for when this one is starting to get done in mid-November. So we'll get the third one in here, and that means we can keep the network going while we're doing this operation. It's a huge boost. Okay, so Portugal wants to buy ships from us. The Portuguese government, aware of the lack of a proper navy, has submitted a tender to purchase British ships. Should we accept to build the ships they desire, they will provide us with goods that we can use to our own purposes. This would be beneficial to both of us. One extra civilian factory, thank you very much. Yeah, so we'll just let those tick down. The infrastructure just did. Now we've got 2 lines of factories going, which is very nice. And we're still lacking a bit there, but there is a little bit trickling down into these divisions. We'll have another one here in a second, so we don't have to be too much in a hurry to deploy these. I think we'll put them into the expeditionary force for training. Yes, we know where we have them. And then we'll start putting Marines in here, of course. Once we've unlocked it, the text and started building the fuel plant. So we could actually add our military police to a division here now. To take our cavalry brigade, we can select military police, duplicate, and just name this one MP. And why not use one of my nice ones here? Let's select the military police. Save that template. We've got the military police there. Obviously we want to use this as well. Occupied territories, colonial garrison. No, we want you to be military police. That changes the ball. Perfect. It costs us a little bit of support equipment. But if we look at the cost here, compared to the colonial garrison, this typically keep it highlighted. Yeah, hardness doesn't matter here. But it costs a little bit more to use, but uses less manpower, which means more manpower to put into the field. Alright, so we finished the Hawker Osprey here too. So let's get this selected. We're in the 1st of November now. So let's get started on construction too. We're a little bit ahead of time, but this one usually pays off to do ahead of time if you've got enough civilian factories. We've got 25 civilian factories building. So, or 26 even now. So yes, I think that's more than enough. Garrison will get this support equipment. fairly shortly, since we've got them set to high priority here. So they will have first priority to get all this equipment, which is important when we're running such a deficit, of course, and we're using a lot of it to train new troops. And as soon as this one gets up to full, when they're all fully supplied, start trickling down here a lot better. We don't actually need to build any of these police divisions, but as we get more, we forgot to actually change them to military police. So there we go, military police. And then we can go back and look here. So that's now they're cheaper too. I thought it was weird, but they were cheaper and use less manpower. That's what we want. And the more cavalry divisions we add to this template, the better this ratio will be. And not by a lot, but by a little. And that's usually the first thing we use our army experience for. Alright, so what we also want to do before we forget is to add the Osprey. And we'll steal another factory from the guns to produce the Ospreys. And we'll move them up so they're under the hectares. We can pop our ships back into being here. Now we're set for an April 38. Now it's still a little bit too early to remove that one and send it further down the queue, as this is a little bit too early. But well, we'll live with it as it is. Okay, we're running quite a lot of deficits, especially here on the carrier fighters. Now we've got an extra wing of that setup, of course. Naval bombers, we probably want to build a few of them. Alright, so we can recruit our new operative. Here we go, and this time we actually got an Indian one. That was nice. We could have a tough one or a natural orator, but I think we go with Dusko here. And they're still on mission, so Dusko is also German double agent, so it's going to be just fine at building up a new one here, because we've lost our entire network strength by doing this operation. I feel that the decay is just a little bit too fast there, maybe, but so you basically need 3 operatives to do one country, and then you need to have one just keep the network going here. Alright, so encouraging colonial elite is done. So let's check out where we are. Our vast, sprawling empire houses some of the greatest minds in the world, but its size prevents many of them from ever meeting. By encouraging them to work together on our most important projects, we can achieve results faster. Oh yes, we can. So what we ideally would want to do now is the Shadow Shield, but that requires 5% world tension, and world tension is at 4.2%, so no go just yet. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna take global defense for now. Not because it's the best focus in the world, but these are very good focuses to get down this side of the tree then that we want, and it locks us out from this side mostly, and I want to go this side. We could probably go, that would probably be a better focus as well. This would be a better focus for, we should get a little bit of those too. But now we're gonna go global defense. We get some air bases and some naval bases: Singapore, Cairo, Alexandria, Nova Scotia, Malta, Gibraltar. Oh, that's nice. We'll get a little bit more, and Unpause again there. And now we're just waiting for the political power to trickle in. So we got some command power too. We could probably use this. So we'll save it up for a bit more. We don't have to go through it that many times. We can see what Germany is going. They're doing the anti-Comintern pact, which I think they did it in December here in 1936. But good historical there. You can see where they're building things. Okay, so yeah, that's the factory count. course. We can't see very much more there. Yeah, since we lost our network, we've lost most of our info, which is a shame, but that's the way it works. And our operation has finished here. No trouble, of course. We gain some political power, which is nice. We're gonna need it in a second. And we gain 10% civilian intel. Very good. So we're gonna get, probably put Yuan back in, or put him in Frankfurt this time. And yeah, actually, why not put you down in Munich? That will be fine. And enough political power to add a political advisor. So this time we're going to add in, I think we're going to add in Maxwell. Not because we need him just yet. Actually, we could put in Stuart Menzies as well. Would be perfectly. We're gonna want to have Alan Turing in later for the decryption power, but I do think Menzies is the better choice for the build-up, for the extra operative, than for the upgrade timer, but especially for the operative slots. That means we can start working in network in 2 countries, and do operations in 2 countries with 2 of our agents. And we're not building any military factories, dockyards, or silos just yet. So, welcome aboard, Mr. Menzies. Okay, so then we might actually move Kathleen here down to Rome instead. And start building up a network down here. And we can start doing the same thing on it. We try to get our Intel network going as strongly as possible. We're gonna need to have 2 of them, of course, to do any operations or establish any places. Okay, so here we can see we're starting to get some infantry equipment into our Indian divisions as well, which is nice. That's because this one filled up. And we should be getting our interwar artillery soon done as well. Some more unassigned divisions. Let's put these into the expeditionary force for now. We can sit there and train, give us some more of that sweet army experience. Actually, we can probably put them to. No, because we haven't given them an order. Expeditionary. So let's give them an order, and let's give these an order to deploy to there, and we don't have to deal with it. That seems like a better plan. Alright, so we're soon going to get that artillery. Very good. We're starting to get some air experience too. We're going to use this for our fighters when we get them, of course. Which is in a little bit. Alright, so from here on we go over and we're going to do, I think both of these would be valid choices. It seems our allies are doing this at the moment, Australia and Canada. Maybe some of the other ones, Raj or someone, will join in and do that. We'll start with concentrated industry and hope for a better research boost for the production. We've also got a new operative. So let's see, do we have any Italians? No, we don't. And infiltrate. Would be good. An escape artist might be something to pick up actually. Yeah, let's pick up Victoria Williams here. And you can be sent down here to Team Green. Where do we want you? There, down in system. Perfect. And unpause again. And let's see here what we have. Just checking through things as we're going along. What would happen here? We would actually be fairly close to the historic commissioning. They did that right now. And get to use the dockyard elsewhere. We're starting to get our new destroyers out there. It would be nice to get all these town trust cruisers done, of course. we can start building the better ones. I will leave that for a little bit. So I soon got some more army experience. I'm gonna save that up and build the divisions a little bit later. Alright, so global defense. And as you can see now, we've got 6% for attention. So that means we're gonna go over here and select the shadow shield. This grants us 4 military buildings, 4 military factories. But not until we're actually at war, I believe. Yeah, so we'll get those buildings when we enter war. So we can continue building our civilian factories. I did want to read out the global defense. Protecting the British people starts by preventing that which would threaten it from spreading in the first place. We must find the embers of the conflict and put them out of the spot before they turn into a conflagration that spreads far and wide, burning us in our homes. Alright, so let's get this going again. And we're waiting for our third political advisor, because Stanley Baldwin is not going to be with us that long. Yeah, that's we're stockpiling the anti-tank and anti-air pieces. That's not a lot we're getting. But one factory will get quite a lot of these over the course of 4 years. It would be nice to be able to put factories on everything, but the amount of factories is not something we have a lot of. This should probably be set to daytime only. What's this? This is fighters. They're going to be set to interception most likely. So they're just finishing up their training now. You must have lost someone on your last day of exercises. Okay, so we no longer get the effects of the steady as she goes. Sad, but that's the way it is. 100% stability, so it doesn't really matter. They're exercising. I'm gonna put these up exercising again, I think. And we could actually be flying these for exercises as well, I think. Just to get some extra experience. So let's do that. We'll activate those. They can keep flying. Right, so we finished air superiority here now. Which means we take a detour off into infantry equipment. Yeah, this one's still ahead of time, of course. We want to get this one out of the way. 99 days, steel, unassigned divisions, perfect. And let's see, here we go. We're gonna go into there. I think that's fine for now. This also means we can set up a small army here. You can go into a small army there. This means we can put all the divisions that get deployed to that view in there. Thank you. And then we can deal with them at a later date. So unpause here again. Let's get that timer going. So, Marines. And with the Marines, we're gonna go over here to Industry Tech. We're gonna put on fuel refining. Let's go. We've got 10 army experience. Can we make our Marine division? Yes. Alright, so let's check. Yeah, we'll probably just start it off this way actually. I think this is fine. We want to have tags on these, of course. Royal Marines, thank you very much. That's a nice template. I don't think we've got these. We just that one. Also for more armored kinds. Let's go with that one. I like that one. Let's actually call these the Royal Marines as well. Royal Marines. These are gonna be our track groups. I don't need to duplicate this design, I don't think. We're just gonna have one Marine one. Get him on. How many can we add? 4. But yeah, we're not allowed to do any more. We can probably do it that way. We want to have 10 of these. Let's train them 2 at a time and then 5. Let's put them down here. Marines can go on Birmingham. where we have absolutely no water. So let's put you down here in Cardiff, and you can launch naval invasion exercises across the beaches there. And let's get the Royal Marines in there. Perfect, thank you. And these we probably want to put on high priority. They can just keep going. Okay. So we can steal blueprints, we don't want to do that. We can capture the cipher, now we can infiltrate the army. So we probably want to do, we'll pick, we want to pick an infantry. So now you've got everything, that's where we pick. But nothing really for this. Let's select, we want to have, let's select the scroll, and everyone, yeah, that's the pick up name, just in case capture. Commands when ready, and prepare. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of army experience from this one as well, but we'll see when we get there. So let's get going there too, and we should have our political power for our next advisor very short. So we're just waiting for that. It's pretty nice with all these going around. And they're going to be here in their networks until the operation actually launches. It shouldn't take that long to prepare everything, right? Yeah, they need some civilian factories for 15 days. That's not too bad. And we soon got both of these lines going. That's nice. But let's click in here, let's click in here, and go for, now we're going maximum item for the military and Guard construction speed. We're not going to be using him yet, but we want to use this bonus Baldwin gives us. What more can we do? Oh yeah, we're still building the network up, so of course it's going to be more things to come up. I wonder why these ones went down. Is it because we had the cipher there? No. No, Japan or Italy must have got some kind of crypto going. Since they actually have some resistance against it. Looks a lot nicer with some aircraft flying around. Even if it's very, very weird that these aren't the Nimrods or the Gladiators. That are the only ones we've got airborne. So give us a little tiny bit of air experience. I think we've done a good job in balancing out the army and air experience for now. But, and the navy experience would need another pause, I think. Okay, so the Regional Defense Council of Aragon Airport in Spain. Let that be so. Okay, we finished construction. And this means that it is time for us to start researching the hurricane. It's about time. And we're soon going to be getting the military factories to actually produce them. There's some anarchist uprising in... then this is the anarchists, of course. Oh yeah, that's the weather system they implemented to make it go a little bit slower. Okay, so what we got going here then? Can we start doing anything? Yeah, we could do those in Italy now. But we've got this one in progress and we don't want to lose the networks. Okay, so we finished the Shadow Shape. I'm gonna reorganize him. We're gonna go up to Berlin. And Victoria, we're gonna go to Rome. I think it actually lost her entire strength there. No, I think it will jump up in the next turn. When we unpause. Alright, so the Shadow Shield. Air Ministry has come up with a brilliant suggestion. Easier conversion of military factories into military ones. With appropriate grants and loans to various key companies, their factories can be extended and adapted in advance to make the transition to military applications much smoother. Yes, they can. And we're gonna keep on going down here to the industrial stuff because we want to get that sweet region stuff, of course. So we'll just keep going on down there. And yeah, no, let's see here. What happened to you? Did you lose your entire network strength? That seems stupid. That was because it wasn't close enough, or? Yeah, probably. They weren't connected, the two networks. Did you also lose yours? No, you took over one that was already working there. Oh well. That would be fine. We're gonna continue doing this in Germany first. We finish off Germany, so for all the four big ones, big projects we want to have done here. The Army, Air Force, Navy, and civilian ones. Navy and Air Force better. Just so we can see what they're doing. And those are going to be our two first enemies, so let's keep track of them. Let's see. It doesn't really look like we don't know very much anymore about anything here. But one special forces, that's probably their mountain division they start with. So let's see where we end up here. I think this one should pop up a little bit more soon. We've got our Navy out training. I could probably start sending some of these out as well. Let's send them all out. Enable automatic split off. Do this here too. And the same thing here. There we go. So they can be out training for a bit too. And then we'll send out the Mediterranean fleet afterwards. We don't have enough fuel for any of that. Alright, so Japan declared war on China. It's May 1937. And let's see how they're doing. We've got some naval combat going. And not a lot of movement there. We have no intel there, of course. We don't have a clue what's going on. Japanese and Chinese forces have skirmished inconclusively over the strategic Marco Polo Bridge located just southwest of Beijing. China has rejected Japan's demand for an apology for territorial possessions, claiming instead that the breaking point of Japanese aggression has been reached. Diplomats fear that the volatile situation could result in a war at any time. Interesting times indeed. So let's see where we're at. Oh, and the Hindenburg disaster. The German passenger airship Hindenburg was destroyed today while attempting to dock at Lakehurst Naval Station in the United States. For reasons not yet determined, the airship was engulfed in flames and crashed to the ground, flaming 35 times. Due to the scarcity and expense of helium in the US and the US ban on exporting it, the Hindenburg, like all German passenger airships, was ultimately engineered to use hydrogen, which provides greater lift but is also flammable. With the public faith shaken by this disaster and the rise of much faster passenger aircraft, this could spell the end of the era of airships. Oh, the humanity. Alright, so did we finish our operation here now? We have finished our infiltration of the German army. Nothing special, we just infiltrated them. Well, that's good enough for me. We get the intel boost we really want. And we already got network strength here, so let's infiltrate the navy. And same thing here. We want to assign, we've got Fusco and Kathleen. And you're ready to go when you are. Perfect. Yeah, they're just hanging about back home here for now. Maybe we can send them down to Italy to help boost stuff a little bit there. If we do it that way, it might help a little bit, I don't know. It's concentrated industry, and here we're gonna go for the improved machine tools. And as we expected, we got all of the Commonwealth nations research increase before us, which gives us 50% research boost. Quite nice. Thank you very much, we will take that. And let's get the clock running again. He might not help very much. That's the way it is. Alright, so we got the Vickers machine gun and Stokes mortar. That means we're gonna pop over here and we're gonna select home defense for our interception detection. We're gonna pop on down there for just a little bit more. We can leave that be so. And got time. Yeah, let's pick one from there. Because we've done the concentrated industry, the dockyard efficiency has gone up, so we can remove one dockyard now and still have a launch date that allows us to train the Ark Royale up before December and have her ready to cruise. And it's a sort of fleet that she'll be flying with close air support. Maybe we can decrease by 5 and keep 10 naval bombers on. And we probably want to go through our other carriers as well and make sure that we have them off. We're going to train up the air wings here too. Oh no! Victoria Williams Reign has been captured. We must mount a rescue operation. We will do so a little bit later. Okay, so we got more political power here. And with that, we want to pop over here and go for Supermarine, so that our Hurricanes actually get some use from that. Okay, so Xi'an King joins the Chinese United Front. It's the same one as we had before, basically. Okay, so we wanted to go in here and wanted to add carrier CAS. Start with just one, and we want to have come on now. We probably want let's start by doing this, putting that down to 10, and this one -5, and then we can add in another, and we want to do this while paused, of course. I'm gonna have 50. I just want to get this one up to 25. There we go. And let's go down to Alexandria. We'll do the same thing here with Furious. Pop 5 up there. We'll pop 20 up there. And add on. I think it's probably easier to do it that way. Yeah. 25 of those. And we'll pop over here to Pacific, to Glorious, which hasn't gotten their complement yet anyway, and pop over and do the same thing. Yes, we have then we have all our carriers set up the way we want to have them for this series, or at least these ones. We're gonna go over these once more before we train them. Alright, so we got the industrial effort here as well. Focus all our political efforts on building up the civilian industry in a great leap forward. Perfect. Now we're gonna go for the extra research slot. And I think that's gonna be all for today. So thank you all for watching, take care, and see you next time.